Anyway, about to explain Mack Truck's, tuning anyway. So all you do is you have a standard tune on the Mack engine, and all you do is from idle to full revs, every 10 revs, you retard injection timing until it starts to blow soot, particularly hydrocarbons, and then you advance it a couple of degrees, and you keep doing that every 10 revs to full revs. That's how you tune it with a standard tune. And if you want to enrich in the mixture, from idle all the way up to full revs, you do the same thing. Then you do the reverse. You'd obviously advance it more initially, and then you'd do the retarding it in every 10 revs from idle to full revs until it starts to blow soot, particularly hydrocarbons, to tune it for extra fuel. And if you want to lean it out, all you do is you leave the injection timing standard, and you reduce calibration for every 10 revs from idle to full revs, and you listen to the sound of the engine. It starts to go from a deep sort of silent sound to a tinny rattly sound. Then you know you're running it too lean. So you can tune them by ear. So when it's a little bit rattly, tinny sound and rattly, you just enriching it a little bit, and until it goes like sort of like a dull, groan sound. Everybody knows what a tinny rattly engine sounds like. That's when it's too lean and too advanced. But anyway, so yeah, so there you go. Oh yeah. So also, with your accelerator, what you can do is you can have it set up so that the truckies can change gear according to accelerator position, like changing physical gears with a gear stick with accelerator position. So all you do is you just have it set up so that you got it in in drive, and you take the parking brake off, take your foot off the brake, and then you put the accelerator down slowly to say third position, and you hold it there, and based upon the gross combinational mass and the gradient that the truck's on, the computer will choose a calibration, and it'll slowly start to feed the fuel in until it starts to accelerate smoothly, and then it'll start to feed full fuel in according to gross vehicle mass and gradient, all the way up to third throttle position. And if you hold it at third throttle position, for example, just say that's 1270 revs, well then it'll change in the next gear at third throttle position, 1270 revs, and then you can do the same thing, and then it'll change into third gear, and then in third gear, what you can do is you can move the throttle while it's already in third gear to say half throttle position, and for example, we'll say that's 1470 revs, and then you let it rev out to 1470 revs, and you hold the throttle at half throttle position, and it revs out at 1470 revs, and then it changes into fourth gear. And then what you can do is when it's revving out in fourth gear, you can move the throttle to 2/3 throttle position, and then let it rev out in fourth gear, and then 2/3 throttle position is 1670 revs. So it now changes to 1670 revs into fifth gear, and then what you can do in fifth gear, let it rev out and move the throttle while it's in fifth gear, revving out to 3/4 throttle position, and then it'll change into sixth gear at 1870 revs, and then when it's in sixth gear and starting to rev out, you can move the accelerator to full throttle, and then it'll change into seventh gear at full revs, 2070 revs. So in setting the computer up like that, then the truckies can what they can do is they can just choose when they want it to change gear, choose how high they want to rev it in each gear. So yeah, that'll be a good toy for them to play around with while they're driving along. So, they can control, for example, they could hold it flat to the floor from first to top gear and it'll rev the 2070 revs in every gear. Obviously, that's not what you do, but for example, or you can hold a 3/4 throttle position and rev at 1870 revs from first gear all the way up to top gear. And the same with 2/3 throttle position, or rev to 1670 revs from first gear all the way up to top gear. And half revs, it'll rev to 1470 revs from first gear all the way up to top gear. And third throttle position will rev to 1270 revs from first gear all the way up to top gear. Or in between, you can change the throttle position while it's already in a gear, and then it'll rev higher or less, unless the governor should have. The governor would be the speedo. Determines that that you've gone past the rev range already. So there you go. That's what I think. There you go, mate.